Okay, I'm interviewing Miss Karen McKinney. She's an associate athletic trainer for women's basketball. How you doing this morning?
Good, thank you.
When I was looking up your bio online, I saw that you were interested in exercise science and that you did a lot of your education here at Syracuse. How was that, and what got you interested in it to begin with?
I did my graduate work here at Syracuse. So I did my undergraduate at the University of Iowa, and that's where I got my athletic training degree, and then I double majored in psychology too. So once in athletic training, once you take the required courses, you can sit for the certification exam, and you can practice as an athletic trainer afterwards. However, I wanted to further my education. I knew I needed to get a master's degree in order to. Um, my goal was to be a college athletic trainer. So in order to do that, I knew I needed to get a master's degree. So when I was looking around at different schools and different opportunities, Syracuse came up. I'm from the Midwest, so I really had never heard of Syracuse, but when I came here, I knew that they had really high standards, professionalism, and they had a good education program, so that's why I wanted that valuable experience. So that's how I became, even though I was interested before Syracuse, that's how it continued on through.
So you mentioned a lot about education. What would you say for this field particularly, it's more important to have the education or the experience?
I think the reason why I like athletic training is because it is a blend of both. You do need to keep up on current trends, current literature, and research, but you also need to be able to apply it and practice it. And there aren't things that are black and white. It's not like accounting where 1 plus 1 is 2. You can't change that. In athletic training or in sports medicine in general, there are some things that might work really well. You might have 2 people with an ankle sprain. You try something with one person, it works great, and the next person doesn't respond the same way. So the experience of knowing when to change up the treatment, change up the rehab, is the reason why. So it's a blend of both. You really need to have the education in order to apply it to your experiences.
Speaking on different athletes and different injuries, I know that exercise science, sports medicine, it's a growing field. Things are always changing. There are always new injuries, and there's always new techniques to have people heal faster and more effectively. How do you keep up on all of that, or is it difficult?
It can be difficult because it is ever changing, and it's almost like anything in the medical field. They'll say, "Oh, we found a thing that cures the cold," and then the next day they found something that it doesn't cure the cold at all. So, I try to. We have to maintain continuing education units every 2 years. So our profession makes us or requires us to go out and educate ourselves. You can do online courses, read articles, go to seminars, go to conferences. I personally enjoy going to conferences because I can interact with other people, and if we're talking about a certain topic, I can ask a question or talk to other people in my field and say, "Hey, does this really work for you, or what works better for you?" So it is hard in some ways, but there's a lot of different ways to get the information out there. You have to want to do it, and you have to do it.
Okay. You stayed at Syracuse University your whole career as exercise science. Is that correct?
Yes and no. After graduate school, I left here for about a year and a half, and I worked in the clinic high school setting.
Okay.
And then I came back. So a majority of my career has been here at Syracuse.
Now, can you give me a typical day? I know we're in the summer, so it's a little different for fall, but for the summer, can you give me a day?
This summer was actually very much like the fall. So in the fall, right now, I'm fortunate enough to work with the women's basketball team. Some people have to work with multiple teams. So my schedule is really based around their schedule. I have to come in at least an hour or two before practice. If we have early morning practice, I know the team doesn't like to get up that early. So I'm not going to sit here for 2 hours if they're not going to be here. So I get here early to take the team, get them ready for practice, get their water ready, and then watch practice kind of in and out, helping people. Once practice is over, do treatments. Some people have class right after practices, so then I have to adjust accordingly and make appointments throughout the day. I also have administrative duties here, so my day doesn't just end with basketball and traveling with basketball. So let's say we had practice last semester. We had practice at 8 o'clock in the morning, so I get here probably around 7:15. I would stay until most of the girls had class right after practice. So I would stay until maybe 12 o'clock, 11, 12 o'clock, and then I would run home for lunch real quick, and then I would come back and be back by usually 1:30, and then I would stay from 1:30 till 6 or something like that. So
Okay. That's a pretty long day.
it is a long day, usually 10 to 12 hours is normal. That's why summers in general are better because we have short amounts of time where it's just practice or conditioning. But since we're going on the foreign tour and we can actually practice, my day's been extended a little bit.
So, what kind of keeps you coming back here every day? Like, what's the excitement of your job?
My job is ever changing, so every day it can be something different. You know, very rarely do I walk in and everything is completely smooth sailing and goes according to plan. So it's great to see the athletes come in. Everyone's got their own personality, their own characters. It's fun to get to know the athletes from all the different teams, the coaches. So I really enjoy meeting the kids, getting to know the kids, helping them get back onto the court or onto the field. I like to travel, so I've been really fortunate to go to some pretty amazing places with the team, specifically basketball, but with some other teams, you know, just going to other schools and stuff. So just the variety, I think, the variety and the travel has been really exciting for me. And the people I work with are really great too. I enjoy working with them. A lot of them are my friends outside of here too, so it's nice to hang out with your friends at work.
So, what's the hardest part of your job? Would it be the variety as well, or?
I would say, though I am pretty flexible in my schedule at times, it can be hard to not have that stability of a 9 to 5 job and weekends off that a lot of other people do. In terms of planning, it could be just a matter of getting my car fixed or making a dentist appointment. You know, there's been a lot of times when I've had appointments and I've had to cancel them because, you know, we got stuck in another location on a trip. You know, we got snowed in, or practice got changed because someone else has a test at the last minute. So that, I think, has been the hardest thing for me. Some days the hours, but I think that, like I said, I've that's become part of my lifestyle. I think the thing that I'm having a harder time with now is just trying to plan other things in my outside of my work career.
Understandable. Last question. Is Syracuse University the last stop for you? Like, are you completely satisfied with here, or would you want to move on somewhere else?
I think that, you know, when I first started off, I had thought that I was going to be here 5 years, probably. 3 to 5 years is usually the general thing, and then you kind of move on, and you either move up in title or you move to a different location because you want that. I don't know. I'm kind of past that 5-year mark. So for me to move to another school or another setting, it would have to be just the perfect storm, so to speak. Like whether it's the perfect location, you know, the job description or whatever, it would have to be the perfect thing for me to upend myself and start over again, so to speak, I think. So I don't know. I don't want to say this is where I'm going to stay forever. I mean, you just never know. But right now, I'm fine where I'm at.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time today.